Uh-oh. Test. Okay, there's gonna be a bit of an inception for a bit. Hold on. Nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, the stream is smooth sailing. Nothing is being cropped, no frames are skipped. This is great. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. um hold on. Hold on. Okay, to be honest, I didn't really plan much for this stream. I was just try I looked more into how to configure the settings for the stream, and like I thought I'm gonna try it out and see if like it goes smooth sailing, and yay, it did. I'm so happy. I'm not a dum dum after all. Okay. So I don't know why, but it's kind of yellow. Is it? I probably should put like some filters, but nah, I'm as natural as can be. So, uh, so yeah, okay. So for today, if you can see the title, I'm gonna talk more about inattentional blindness. I've looked more into the question of the essay, and then and I found a few more things to read, which is fine. And I have to not look at my face so that I will look at the camera instead. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I don't know. How do I not look at my face? Okay, so no, I have to look at my face so that I know what's going on. Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. I just need to make it like really small. Okay, anyways. Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna look at that today, and then we're gonna look at some autism diagnostic criterias, because that's what I've decided to do for my brain behavior essay. I was also looking into, because I was originally thinking of doing Asperger's syndrome for that essay, but then it's based on DSM-5, and if you don't know what DSM-5 is, it's like this big guideline for how to diagnose, and basically like a guide for all the mental health illnesses in the book. Basically, it is the book. Mental illness in the book. That's DSM. So the latest iteration is DSM-5, and I've heard of this. I've heard of this issue back before I even started this, about how that Asperger's syndrome is not actually in DSM-5 like it was in DSM-4. Like everything is kind of now under autism. So if you had Asperger's before, you're basically now just in in the autism category. So there's that. We're gonna talk a bit more about that, but I feel like that's just basically the gist of the issue. Anyways, okay. Uh yeah. So I see here there's still like 0.3% drop frames, but I think if it's not, I think the problem last time was with skip frames, so it's probably fine. I don't know. I've tried to limit my CPU usage, but it's about the same as last time too. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's better this time. If this setting works, then I can try streaming a game. So that's fun. Yeah, okay. So for now, I'm still trying to figure things out. So that's that. So and then I also, okay. So before I start all of this, I don't know who's gonna watch or who will watch. I've been watching a lot of Markiplier's GTA Grand Theft Auto stream. It's probably like sorry, this topic is probably like different. is probably like out of topic from like what I usually talk about. I really kind of want to RP. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at acting. I swear I can't really be anyone other than myself. But I feel like these days being in myself is like being in myself. Being myself is a bit too overwhelming, and I just kind of want to not be myself. So I thought like I want to try RP, but I don't know where I can start, and what platform is like the best to RP in. I want something that's like Grand Theft Auto, I guess. One that's not based on like just leveling up, looting and everything. Just, just running around doing stupid stuff. Because that's what I like to do. And from what I've searched in Google, it's all about like that stuff, nothing like simulation oriented like GTA RP is. So I don't know, maybe I could just use GTA, but then the game itself is kind of a bit expensive. Like way more than I would pay for a PC game. Like I pay a lot more for consoles, but because it's consoles, and PC, well, you know. Anyways, so if anyone could give me like suggestions, that would be great. I already have like a character that's that has the name that kind of betrays expectations, because I feel like that always brings laugh. But I don't know, I want to start out with friends that I know, but I don't know who would be. Like I only have like one or two friends who actually games, so I don't know if they would RP. But even if they want to RP, I have to find a place to RP, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm very, very new to this, and I still have like a bunch of deadlines to think about. So at most this is probably gonna be just in the back burner for a while, at least until the end of May. May is gonna be a crazy week, a crazy month. Let me tell you guys that. But it doesn't have to be if I do all of my preparations now. Anyways, okay. So let me just check my stream health real quick. Excellent. Oh yeah. Not really. Is it really excellent? It's loading. Uh okay, never mind. Okay, anyways. How about we just start, okay? Let's just start. So the textbook that I'm reading is this one, Cognitive Psychology by Michael Eysenck and Mark T. Keane. Also, sorry if I burp because I did drink Coke before this. So, gassy beverages, whatever. Anyways, so this chapter talks a lot about change blindness, and what we're gonna look for is actually inattentional blindness. So I'm just gonna skim through. So after we read this book, I have another 14-page chaptered book to read. I have it up. We'll change screens when I finish with this one. I don't know how much there is though, because I really just want to know about inattentional blindness, to be honest. So okay, so first, you know what, let's just read. Inattentional blindness: failure to detect an unexpected object appearing in the visual environment. Failure to detect an unexpected object appearing in the visual environment. We will also consider which is the failure to notice an unexpected but fully visible item when attention is diverted to other aspects of a display. So suppose you watch a video in which students dressed in white pass a ball to each other. At some point, a woman in a black gorilla suit walks into a camera shot, looks at the camera, thumbs her chest, then walks off. Altogether, she is on the screen for 9 seconds. You probably feel absolutely certain you would spot the gorilla figure almost immediately. Simons and Chabris, 1999, carried out an experiment along the lines just described. Very surprisingly, 50% of the observers totally failed to notice the gorilla. This is a striking example of inattentional blindness. The original research on inattentional blindness, let's just say IB, it's so hard to say it, was carried out by Mack and Rock, 1998. In their early experiment, okay, so this is what we're going to read next. We're going to read about the Mack and Rock experiment. In their early experiments, observers fixated the intersection point of the two arms of a cross presented for 200 milliseconds and decided which arm was longer. On the third or fourth trial, a critical stimulus, for example a colored spot, was presented unexpectedly in a quadrant of the cross within 2.3 degrees of fixation. On average, 25% of observers failed to detect the critical stimulus, thus providing evidence for inattentional blindness. In subsequent research, Mack and Rock presented the critical stimulus at the fixation point and centered the cross about 2 degrees from fixation. They expected that presenting the task in this way would eliminate inattentional blindness. In fact, however, detection rates for the critical stimulus dropped to between 40% and 60%. Hold on. Okay. How did Mack and Rock interpret this finding? They argued that objects at fixation are typically the focus of attention. However, when the task, for example, comparing the arms of a cross, requires focusing attention away from fixation, attention to objects at fixation is actively inhibited. There has been more research on change blindness than inattentional blindness. Okay. Basically, change blindness is what it seems to be. It's just you forgetting you didn't see what changed or something. Oh no. Oh man. Yeah. See, okay. I'm looking at this and it says that my extreme health is excellent. Twitch says my extreme health is excellent, but when I look at the video preview, it's buffering, so I don't know if people can actually see me. But that said, I don't think there is anyone to see me anyways, so I'm gonna continue as normal, okay? I'm gonna continue as normal. I'll try to look at you as much as I can, but I don't know. I feel like looking at cameras, like looking at the eyes, is kind of weird. So, okay, so, okay, let me tell you a story, because we don't have any, what was the name? We don't have any, tweet breaks today, so our breaks would be about stories, my stories. Okay, so the thing is, I think I have Aspergers. I'm not sure if I do, but I think I do. So to know if I really do, I have to go get diagnosed, and I don't know if I do want to get diagnosed because of other reasons. So reasons that would be too long to tell for like a quick story like this. But anyways, so as I said in the last stream, or in a few streams that I've did before, I've always said this, that I feel like autism is a thing that I want to devote my life to research into. If I have to pick a field, I want it to be that. So yeah. Anyways, and this is why I said to my supervisor, that I said, like, I like autism. I want to let my my research project be on this, and she gave me something with that involves eye tracking, because apparently one of the symptoms of autism is the inability to kind of make eye contact with someone when talking to people. And a lot of research has been like has proved that in typical population, it's more likely, like, if you if you look at the eyes, you're more likely to be able to discern emotions, which is something that is kind of hard for people with autism to do. So that's one of the focus on my research, but it's not in the autism population, but more in the Turner syndrome population, because that's another thing with genes, which is all fun and dandy. I like it because I feel like if I want to study something, I want to study something that is that I don't know, kind of makes a difference. That is not to say that other research are not making a difference, like studying inattentional blindness or whatever. I'm sure it has its own purposes that I don't know about. But to me, I feel like this is the best field to get into. But of course, that's just me. Anyways, I forgot the point of my stories. Oh right, okay. So the point of the story is that the autism population, one of the ways you can detect is when the person has a hard time looking at the eyes when they're talking, like making eye contact and whatever, and they always seem to focus on something else, like the mouth, which is one of the more popular regions, popular alternative regions than the eyes, or just everywhere else. And that is what researchers believe causes the lack of emotion discerning, which is why it's kind of hard for them to tell emotions unless people like communicate to them directly, so I feel like that's part of it. I'm not sure if I do look at people's eyes. I just don't maintain eye contact. I feel like when I do, I kind of get lost. I don't really listen to what the conversation is about. This feels weird to look at someone's eyes. I always kind of look at their mouth or just everywhere else. But this is just one of it. Like I know like a lot of it feels self-centered, but I feel like that's the way we look at things. That's the way we can relate to things. Is that when we kind of relate it back to ourselves, that's how we train ourselves to empathize with others. Sure, it's self-centered, but I don't know. I don't know how to rationalize it. So whatever. I'm not gonna make excuses. Sure, I'm self-centered. Yes. Okay. So there's another part that says change blindness versus inattentional blindness. Change blindness and inattentional blindness are similar in that both involve a failure to detect some visual event that appears in plain sight. There are also some important similarities between the processes underlying change blindness and inattentional blindness. For example, failures of attention often, but not always, play an important role in causing both forms of blindness. In spite of the similarity, there are major differences between the two phenomena. First, consider the effects of instructing observers to look for unexpected objects or visual changes. Target detection in change blindness paradigms can still be hard even with such instruction. In contrast, target detection in attentional blindness paradigms become trivially easy. Oh, really? Target detection in IB paradigms become trivially easy. Second, change blindness involves memory, so that pre-change and post-change stimuli can be compared, whereas IB does not. Third, IB occurs when the observer's attention is engaged in a demanding task, which is not the case with change blindness. Yeah, this is the perceptual load theory. In some, more complex processing is typically required for successful performance in change blindness tasks than IB ones. More specifically, observers must engage successfully in 5 separate processes for change detection to occur. Based on Jensen et al. 2011. Attention must be paid to the change location. The pre-change visual stimulus at the change location must be encoded into memory. The post-change visual stimulus at the change location must be encoded into memory. What? Isn't that the same? Oh, it's pre and post. This is actually very boring, you guys. I'm sorry. The pre and post change representations must be compared. Number 5, the discrepancy between the pre and post change representations must be recognized at the conscious level. In the real world, we are often aware of changes in the visual environment because we detect motion signals accompanying the change. Ways of preventing observers from detecting motion signals include making the change during a saccade, which is a rapid movement of the eyes, making the change during a short temporal gap between the original and altered stimuli, or making the change during an eye blink. Okay, so I think that's the end of that. Let's see. Okay, what causes inattentional blindness? As Jensen pointed out, the detection of an unexpected object in studies on IB generally depends heavily on the probability it will attract attention. Two factors are of special importance. Number one, the similarity of the unexpected object to task-relevant stimuli. Number two, the observer's available processing resources, because, it involves attention, and attention involves your attention span or perceptual load, So earlier we discussed the surprising finding that 50% of observers fail to detect a woman dressed as a gorilla. Similarity, or rather this I can't read today. this similarity hold on, I lost my place. Oh my god. Was a factor in that the gorilla was black, whereas the team members whose passes the observers counted were dressed in white. Simons and Chevries carried out a further experiment in which observers counted the passes made by members of the team dressed in white or the one dressed in black. Now, what did Simons and Chevries find? The gorilla's presence was detected by only 42% of observers when the attended team was the one dressed in white, while replicating the previous findings. However, the gorilla's presence was detected by 83% of observers when the attended team was the one dressed in black. This shows the importance of similarity between the unexpected stimulus and task-relevant stimuli. Simons and Chevries' findings indicate the importance of similarity in stimulus features, for example, color, between task stimuli and the unexpected object. Most 2013 argued that similarity in terms of semantic category was also important. I feel like we've talked about this in the review, in the Mack review. Like, people are more likely to realize their own name because I feel like that has more semantic meaning or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm sorry. I've done something. I'm doing something. I'm trying to look at something. Trying to see if I'm still live. I'm hoping I am, but I'm not sure. I'm hoping I am, but I'm not sure. I'm hoping I am, but I'm not sure. Hoping I am, but I'm not sure. Hoping I am, but I'm not sure. I am! I am streaming. I'm still streaming. Okay, so it's just my view. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm gonna continue reading. Okay. Chill. So, anyways, where were we? Okay, most of the 13 argued that similarity in terms of semantic category was also important. Participants struck numbers 2479 or letters AHLU on the critical trial. On the critical trial, an unexpected stimulus, letter E or number 3, was visible for 7 seconds. Of key importance, the letter and number were visually identical except that they were mirror images of each other. What was of interest was the percentage of observers who noticed the unexpected object. So what did Moss 2013 find? There was much less IB when the unexpected object belonged to the same category as the tracked object. Thus, IB can depend on attentional sets based on semantic categories. Richards 2012 studied the effects of working memory capacity related to availability of processing resources and attentional control on IB. Individuals high in working memory capacity were less likely than low scorers to exhibit IB. So people with high working memory capacity are less likely to show IB okay. So yeah, so it kind of works to the theory that The more preoccupied with something you are, the less like you are able to notice the changes, the stuff that happens like apart from what you're focusing on, something like that. So the findings of Richard suggest inattentional blindness occurs due to insufficient attentional resources. However, that is not the whole story. Item 2013 presented observers with very simple stimuli: a colored circle surrounded by a differently colored ring. Performance was close to perfect when the observers tried to identify both colors, indicating they had the processing resources to attend to both stimuli. However, the findings were very different when they were instructed to focus on only the circle or ring. In this condition, there was clear evidence of IB, with 20% of observers failing to identify the task's irrelevant color. Thus, IB can depend more on attentional set than availability of processing resources. Attentional set, does that mean the stimulus? I guess. Yeah, I guess. Wait. This is the end of a chapter. Wait. Wait, what the hell? And this is this part I've read before. I've read the next part at the beginning of the semester in a YouTube stream. So, there's that. Okay, I'll read this later. This part is a bit more, I guess it's a bit more focused on attention and stuff and like whatever. So basically, to sum it up, the question that I've got for this essay was, oh my gosh, are failures of awareness presented by Mack and Rock's experiment in attentional blindness or inattentional amnesia. So to know what I'm gonna write about, I feel like okay, in the general discussion that I've seen is that it's more likely that it's inattentional blindness, but apparently it also relies on how the experiment is conducted. So to know which one we have to actually write about, I feel like we have to write both, but I've only read about attentional blindness. I totally did not understand the question until like today, so that's fun. Well, at least I've done half the work. Okay, like a quarter of the work, yeah. Anyways, okay, so we are gonna. Do you still want to see my face though? Do you still want to see my face? I don't think so. Nah, you're okay. You don't need to see my face. You don't need to see my face. So let's look at stuff. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that smooth transition. Oh yeah. So hopefully you can still hear me. So this is Mack and Rock's 1998. 1998. What was it? Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh yeah, the experiment. So before I move on, I'm gonna drink for a bit, because like I swear the only time you can see me drink pure water, not pure, I mean like just water, plain water, is during streams. But then you're actually just listening to me and not watching me. So it doesn't matter if I spill. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. I'm not usually like this. I'm not like this when I. Okay, hold on. Since we're still we're still in kind of a break, so I'm not usually, I don't usually talk this way. This is not how I usually, don't want people to see my double chin there. It's not how I usually talk talk in real life or when I'm communicating with others. This is how I usually talk when I'm alone, when I talk to myself, when I talk to the mirror, when I talk to the air, when I talk to anyone that's not human. This is how I talk, okay? I'm not gonna talk like this with like real life people. Don't know how that would work. I mean, I don't know if I do. Also, yeah, no, also. That's it. Okay. Break over. We're gonna read. Okay, we're gonna read. So, what? Oh, sorry, that was too close. I'm sorry. What is the relationship between attention and perception? How much, if anything, of our visual world do we perceive when we are not attending to it? Are there only some kinds of things we see when we are not attending? If there are, do they fall into particular categories? Do we see them because they have captured our attention or because our perception of them is independent of our attention? Most people have the impression that they simply see what is there, and they do so merely by opening or closing opening their eyes and looking. Oh, there's 14 pages. 14 pages. Okay. I'm bored now. Oh my god. I'm bored. Are you bored? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh my god, I've only read one paragraph and I'm bored already. Can we just look at let's see if you can see. Okay, so I'm gonna cut off the filters. Okay. And just fit the screen. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Let's just look at oops. Let's just look at I feel like they're just talking about their motivations here. So I want to see their methods. But it feels like they have a lot of methods here. Hold on. I feel like this is a method. This is their procedures. Oh, so yeah. Okay. To be honest, I'm very lazy right now. And I feel like just ending it here. But okay. We'll just read the method, okay? Do you guys want to see my face? Let me just I don't know if you do. But I don't know if you can see it there. Let me just yeah, like that. Go away. Go cut the peak. Go bawah. Okay, so the inattention paradigm, because no adequate method was available, a new one had to be devised. It had to guarantee that the observer would neither be expecting nor looking for the object of interest, but would be looking in the general area in which it was to be presented. We also thought it might be necessary to engage the subject's attention with another task, because without some distraction task, it seemed possible that by default attention might settle on the only object present. The method we devised, a version of which has been used in most of the research, meets this criteria. Okay, observers were asked to report the longer arm of a cross briefly presented on the screen, like this. This is okay. Of a personal computer, usually viewed from a distance of 76. Oh, that's too close. Go back. 76 centimeters. The cross that served as the distraction stimulus, or rather as the object of the distraction task was centered either at fixation or in the paraphobia. I don't know what that is. I feel like if you've read what's upstairs, we would have known. Anyways, within 2.3 degrees of fixation, one of the arms of the cross was horizontal and the other was vertical. The cross dimensions changed from trial to trial, with the length of a cross arm ranging from 2.7 degrees to 4.5 degrees, and the length differences between the arms of the cross ranging from 0.1 to 1.8. In all the early experiments, this cross was centered at fixation. Only later was it centered in the paraphobia. The cross was present. What's paraphobia? I'm guessing it's this one, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's this one. The cross was presented on the screen of a computer for 200 milliseconds, which is less time than it generally takes to move the eyes from one location in space to another. That is to make a saccadic eye movement, like a rapid eye movement. Thus, we could reasonably certain that the observers were not changing their fixation during the time the cross was visible. In most cases, as soon as the cross disappeared, a pattern mass appeared for 1,500 milliseconds. That covered the entire area of the visible screen, a circular area about 8.9 degrees in diameter in cm, 10.6, okay, in which the cross was displayed. The mass was meant to eliminate any processing of the visual display after it disappeared from the screen. Before each presentation of the cross, a fixation mark was displayed at the center of the screen, and the subjects were asked to keep their eyes focused on it until the mass appeared. When the mass disappeared, subjects reported which line of the cross seemed longer. This procedure was followed on the first 2 or 3 trials. On the third or fourth trial, a critical stimulus, usually like something unexpected. Like what? Hold on. Was presented in a quadrant of the cross within 2.3 degrees of fixation. In experiments in which the cross was located in the paraphobia, this stimulus was most often presented at fixation. What qualified the stimulus as critical was the fact that it was presented to the subjects quite close to fixation, while their attention was engaged by the cross task, and they were neither searching for or nor expecting it. Immediately following the trial in which critical stimulus was presented, the subjects were asked whether they had seen anything on the screen other than the cross figure, that is, anything that had not been present on previous trials. The question was asked throughout the research, even though it had the potential of increasing the likelihood of positive responses when nothing else had actually been seen. The answer to this question provides the data about what is perceived without attention. If the subjects reported seeing something, they were asked to identify it either by describing it or by selecting it from a set of alternatives presented to them in a recognition task. In many experiments, even if subjects had not seen the critical stimulus, they were asked to select it from a set of alternatives. We reasoned that if many subjects who reported seeing nothing new on the trial in which the critical stimulus was presented guessed correctly, it would indicate that the stimulus in fact either had been perceived without awareness or was perceived and quickly forgotten, despite the subject's report or to the contrary. An important feature of the inattention method is that it permits only one critical trial per subject. Although subjects were given a few more trials thereafter for reasons to be made clear shortly, this feature of the inattention paradigm is crucial because once subjects have been asked about something on the screen other than the cross and possibly seen as well, it is likely that they now will be actively looking for something else and thus no longer view the critical stimulus under conditions of inattention. Two consequences of this limit of one inattention trial per subject are that each experiment requires a large number of subjects and each new experiment demands a new naive group of subjects. However, fortunately, each subject takes only a few minutes to test, as approximately 5,000 subjects. We're testing our 2 labs during a period of 7 years. I was like, how the hell did you get 5,000 people to do it? Okay, 7 years. 7 years kind of makes sense. Anyway, following the 3 or 4 trials that constituted the inattention condition of the experiment, other trials were one which differed only in instructions to the observer. In a New School for Social Research Laboratory, hereafter the New School Lab, the next set of trials were explicit divided attention trials in which subjects were asked to report the longer line of the cross while at the same time reporting the presence of anything else on the screen. Again, the critical stimulus was presented with the cross on the third of these divided attention trials. In the lab of University of California at Berkeley, here after the Berkeley lab, the subjects were given an additional 4 trials, on the third of which the critical stimulus was again presented. They were again asked after this trial whether they had seen anything in addition to the cross. This was an implicit divided attention trial because subjects now probably had a reason to expect another stimulus and to be questioned about it. The divided attention trials provide information about the subject's ability to see both the longer line of the cross and the critical stimulus, and thus tell us whether both are perceptible with attention. The last trials, one in Berkeley Lab, 3 in New School Lab, serve as the full attention control trials. At this point, subjects were told to continue to maintain fixation on the central mark, to ignore the cross, and to report only what else they saw on the screen when the cross was present. On the last trial in the Berkeley Lab, the cross and critical stimulus were presented together. In the New School Lab, the critical stimulus was presented. I'm not really getting this anymore. I mean, I've been getting it the past few, but not really. The first and second of these trials, only the cross was present. The control trial was important in establishing the perceptibility of the critical stimulus under conditions of brief, mass, and often parafoveal rather than foveal presentation. Okay, I don't know. Let me just quickly look up what foveal is. Foveal system of the human eye is the only part of the retina that permits 100% visual acuity. The line of sight is a virtual line connecting the fovea with the fixation point on the outside world. It's a part of the human eye. Hold on, that makes it a bit weirder. Let me just open parafoveal. I guess related to the foveal system. Presentation when attention was allowed. Throughout our experiments, subjects virtually always succeeded in seeing and correctly identifying the critical stimulus. Critical stimulus and its location in the control trials. It is important to note that the location of the critical stimulus was randomly varied from one quadrant of the cross to another in experiments in which the cross was centered at the fixation and the critical stimulus appeared in the parafovea, so that its position was never predictable. In contrast, when the critical stimulus was presented at fixation and the cross appeared in the parafovea, it was the location of the cross that varied from trial to trial. The comparison of greatest interest in between reports of the critical stimulus of the inattention trial and those on the full attention control trial, because this indicates what, if anything, is contributed by attention. If there is no difference, that is, the perception of the critical stimulus on the inattention trial is indistinguishable from its perception on the full attention control trial, then it's clear that attention is not required for its perception. Conversely, the perception of the critical stimulus on the inattention trial differs significantly from its perception of the control trial. Then attention is required for its perception. Whatever. I'm tired. I feel like this part they're just kind of summing it up. So basically, they did 3 trials, and what they have participants do is just they have the cross, a cross in the center of a screen, and then ask the participants to see which one is longer. And then while they do that, and I think they do it 4 times. And then in the last one, they provided something new to the screen and then ask the participants if they notice anything immediately after, something like that. So I didn't see their findings. Feel like I have to, but I don't know, I guess I'm kind of lazy. I'm sorry I'm lazy. Anyways, here I'm gonna go into what it means in a second, but let me just open the diagnostic criteria first, because that's what we're gonna look at next. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So like, from what I've read yesterday, it seems their methods are most likely inattentional amnesia ish kind of way instead of inattentional blindness, but it feels like it could go either way. So that's like great to do for an essay. I can see why it was chosen. um I can see why it's chosen. Um but yeah, I think we need to look at the findings to see what they find, what they've concluded, and see if like it matches. Because as of now, I don't really know what are the I've been trying to sleep earlier, by the way. The nights are getting really short. I don't know how I'm gonna like deal with it, but I know I have to sleep earlier, which kind of sucks because all my games are you know, stuff, whatever. Anyways, they talk a lot about this. Hold on. They talk about stuff, but I don't really care. I don't really care about this. I don't care about this. Okay, sorry. Hold on. That's awful. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. This is ilmu we're talking about. This is holy. No, as in like this is good stuff. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Ooh, okay. So they talk a lot more about how it is actually IB rather than IA. IA is inattentional amnesia. You, but I feel like I'm sorry. I'm not looking at. I'm not. Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry. I don't know why I do this. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's too big. Or maybe I need it to be that big. I need it to be that big. Yeah. Okay. Before we go to look at the diagnostic criteria, I don't know what story should I talk about. What story should I talk about? I don't know. I mean, my life is pretty much boring. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I should talk about it on stream. I don't think I should, especially like on a new platform. I'm not gonna talk about it, I guess, unless you wanna like encourage me. I don't know. I know I'm doing it. I know I'm doing this on Twitch, and I think like the only one who could possibly watch me are my friends, or is my friend, since there's probably like only one person who probably watches. Anyways, I appreciate whoever decides to watch. I also upload this on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll get a good cut from here. I'm not gonna edit any more of my videos because I'm lazy. No, because I don't have time, and yeah, basically because I don't have time. That's about it. Yeah, I don't have time. I'm sorry. I like editing, but it takes a lot of time, and I always have this voice that sounds a lot like my mom's voice that says, "Why are you doing this when you can be doing something else, like studying?" And of course, when my mom says that, my default reaction is I should play a game. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. But I feel like today's stream is gonna be a lot shorter than yesterday, so that's great. Um yeah. Okay. So I apologize that yesterday's stream was horrible. Like I hope this one is like more smooth sailing, right? I don't see any hiccups here, so I feel like that's good. I figured out the configuration. That's awesome. And my CPU usage is at low for now because I think yeah, I think the key, I don't remember what I did. I feel like the key was lowering the bit rate. I think that's what I did. I lowered it by half and made the resolution be 720p instead of 1080 because like I have to be realistic here. I'm not even if my video quality is 1080p, I can't stream 1080p. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have all the specs to do that, right? So there's that. Anyways, I think the next time I stream would be another one of these academic stuff. I'm trying to not game. I'm trying to not do anything other than on mobile because that's like the mobile games are short and I usually only take like 10 to 15 minutes per game. And I usually do it while doing something else. You know how mobile games are. I really want to play a game. I'm serious, and I really want RP. I really want RP. I want to bring my character to life. I want to be. Yeah. I just want RP. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I just want RP. Okay, everyone. I really want RP. Can somebody help me? I really want RP. Okay, I just want RP. Let me help me RP. I want RP. Help me RP. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, it. And people don't have to worry. I don't talk to people like this. These are just interactions that I save only for myself. um, um, yeah. Okay. So let's just look at the autism diagnostic criteria. I have to change the window to capture something else. So if you excuse me. I'm trying to change to something else. Oh shoot, it's not here. Oh gosh. It's not here. It's not here. I have to add like a new source or something. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, let me just can I duplicate this? Sorry. I trying to figure out stuff while in stream because I'm like a really good streamer this way. Okay. Hold on. Oh, me dummy, I can just like fit the screen like that. Yeah. Okay, let me just a bit, just a bit, so you can see it. Oh, and my character, I don't know if she will have an accent or not, but she probably won't. But I'm gonna talk really low like this. and probably laugh like that. I don't know. Okay, autism spectrum disorder. A. Persistent deficits in social communication and social interactions across multiple contexts, as manifested by the following, currently or by history. Examples are illustrative, not exhaustive. See text. 1. Deficits in social emotional reciprocity, ranging, for example, from an abnormal social approach and failure of normal back and forth conversation to reduced sharing of interests, emotions, or affect. So affect here is usually, emotions too. To failure to initiate or respond to social interactions. Number 2, deficits in nonverbal communicative behaviors used for social interaction, ranging, for example, from poorly integrated verbal and nonverbal communication to abnormalities in eye contact and body language, or deficits in understanding and use of gestures, to total lack of facial expressions and nonverbal communication. Number 3, deficits in developing, maintaining, and understanding relationships, ranging, for example, from difficulties adjusting behavior to suit various social contexts, to difficulties in sharing imaginative play or in making friends, to absence of interest in peers. Specify current severity. Severity is based on social communication impairments and restricted repetitive patterns or behaviors. See Table 1. So the first, okay. So the first diagnostic criteria was lacking in social communication. So if I take that like generally like that, I can find a lot of articles about that. I feel like I already have read a few articles about it because it does have a role in my current research, so I don't think that's too hard to figure out. Because what I basically have to do for this essay is look at the symptoms as stated in DSM-V and then figure out what's going on in their brain. So because it is a brain and behavior class, so I feel like I've done a lot. One of my presentation was on empathy, which is part of. Sorry, that's another verb. Which is part of the social which is part of which is part of the interactions you do in social communication, I guess. So there's that. Oh my shoulders. Oh my shoulders. Oh my shoulders. I shouldn't slouch. But like look at the height difference from when I don't slouch to when I slouch. I'm probably like much taller than I say I am. I'm 160. I'm 160 in height. People don't believe it. People say I'm 159. But whatever, it's just 1 centimeter. Anyways, okay. So, okay. Social communication. Okay. Okay, let's look at the second one. Restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities as manifested by at least 2 of the following, currently or by history. Number 1, stereotyped or repetitive motor movements, use of objects or speech. For example, simple motor stereotypes, lining up toys or flipping objects. Echolalia, which is echoing what somebody else has said to you. For example, you say apple to that one person, that person would just echo apple, and idiosyncratic phrases. Number 2, insistence on sameness, inflexible adherence to routines or ritualized patterns or verbal or nonverbal behaviors. For example, extreme distress at small changes, difficulties with transitions, rigid thinking patterns, greeting rituals, need to take same route or eat same food every day. Number 3, highly restricted fixated interests that are abnormal in intensity or focus. Example, strong attachment to or preoccupation with unusual objects, excessively circumscribed or perseverative interests. Number 4, hyper or hyporeactivity to sensory input or unusual interest in sensory aspects of the environment. For example, apparent indifference to pain or temperature, adverse response to specific sounds or textures, or excessive smelling or touching of objects, and visual fascination with lights or movements. Okay, so I think this is a bit harder to talk about. So you have restricted and or repetitive patterns of behavior. I feel like this probably I mean it's kind of hard to find papers, I guess. I don't think it's hard. I think there are papers. It's just that I'm not sure where to start. Hold on, I'm gonna change to my face. Ta-da! Ta-da! You can see my face now. Okay. it's probably gonna be harder to start searching. I guess I'm not sure what to say. Like autism and restrictive pattern or repetitive behavior, restricted and repetitive pattern of behavior, because one is that it's restricted to one thing, but it's also repetitive, so that's number two. So you have social communication impairment, and then you have restricted or repetitive pattern of behavior. Okay, so so I think the addition is the severity, because I sorry, go back to my face. Okay. So I think the addition of DSM-5 is severity. That when I was looking at DSM-4, they don't have that table. So I feel like that's the addition to why they have they put everything under autism, not everything, like Aspergers under autism. So I think like that's why they have severity, and Aspergers are like a less severe form of autism. Like you still have the restrictive repetitive patterns of behavior. You still have social communication impairment, but it's less severe in them, in which a lot of them are still are very able to fully function. It's just that they would probably have more difficulties in keeping and maintaining and making relationships. So which is something that I have. Anyways, we're not talking about me here. We're gonna talk about C. We're gonna talk about C. Okay, we're gonna talk about C. C. So C. Okay. C. Symptoms must be present in the early developmental period, but may not become fully manifest until social demands exceed limited capacities, or may be masked by learned strategies in later life. See, that's the thing. Like, okay, we could talk a lot more about autism in females too. I feel like I want to learn more about that too, because, I know, let me just go back to my face. I'm gonna get my rat face on. Anyways, so, yeah, there's this thing with autism in female, that it is seen very differently in girls. But then the thing is, we've always studied autism in boys, because like boys are less likely, like probably find it less easy probably find it harder to learn all these strategies, because their environments are different, and boys are basically known to not are not are not best able to communicate socially, I guess, whereas it's more expected of girls, so it's not really seen very well. I've read an article that says it better, but it's all about the like Sasha. I was gonna say Sacha Baron Cohen, but that's the famous actor. Anyway, this is the cousin. It's Simon Baron Cohen, who basically starts a lot with the talk about autism, and his theory is the extreme male brain theory, and basically why autism is more predominantly in males. But the thing is, it's just less likely to be seen in females, probably because the way the tests are being developed are based a lot on males. Like, they've studied a lot more males than they do females. And the thing about gender with male and female, let's not talk about other types of gender, let's talk about male and female first, is that in the brain there are quite distinct similarities, both physical and mentally. And to basically test a female based on male on a male based test feels a bit wrong, don't you think? Like, we need something that fits for females. So I feel like there should be I'm not sure what is the test for autism. I've looked at the autism quotient test. So I don't know. I've only read about this like very briefly while I was looking for stuff to for while I was looking for stuff for my research project. But there are a lot of females that goes undetected, and then later when they're like in their 30s, 20s, 40s, even 50s, or very later in life, that they went to get a diagnosis, and it seems they are on the spectrum. They are on the spectrum, but they've learned they're much more likely to mask this symptoms. Like they learn much better how to do well, basically. Like you can basically pretend that you understand and everything, but you actually don't. And then at the end of the day, you go back and you Google everything because you don't really understand what just happened, you know, or yeah. So there's a lot I can talk about masking, but that's about it. Okay. Anyways, sorry you have to see a lot of my face. Let's look at D. Anyways, D. Symptoms can cause clinically significant impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of current functioning. Okay, so okay, I feel like E is a lot. So let's talk about that. So this is a talk. So this is a talk I had with my supervisor because she's also a clinical psychologist. How to get diagnosed is that these symptoms have to be are like at odds with how they're basically obstacles and the reason why you're not able to function well in school, in like making friends, in work, stuff like that. And if it has that severity, then that's how you get a diagnosis. If not, you're just basically you're almost there, but you're not. So you're not autistic, stuff like that. And I feel like that's a lot of how tests work, and it's kind of scary. Like yeah, I don't like tests. I don't like them. Anyways, okay. And that's all I have to say about it. Anyway, E. These disturbances are not better explained by intellectual disability or global developmental delay. Intellectual disability and ASD frequently co-occur to make comorbid diagnosis of ASD and intellectual disability. Social communication should be below that expected for general developmental level. Note, individuals with a well-established DSM-IV diagnosis of autistic disorder, Asperger's disorder, or pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, should be given the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. Individuals who have marked deficits in social communication but whose symptoms do not otherwise meet criteria for autism spectrum disorder should be evaluated for social communication disorder. Okay. Specify if with or without accompanying intellectual impairment, accompanying language impairment. Oh yeah, that's another thing with Asperger's. Usually they don't have any language delay or anything like that. It's mostly with social communication, something like that. Okay, with catatonia, whatever. So severity, level 3, requiring very substantial support. I don't think this is needed for my essay, but we'll just read for fun. Okay, severity level 3, requiring very very substantial support. So if social communication, severe deficits in verbal and nonverbal social communication skills cause severe impairments in functioning. very limited initiation of social interactions, and minimal response to social overtures from others. For example, a person with few words or intelligible speech who rarely initiates interaction, and when he or she does, make unusual approaches to meet needs only and responds to only very direct social approaches. Restricted repetitive behaviors, inflexibility of behavior, extreme difficulty coping with change or other restricted or repetitive behaviors, markedly interfere with functioning in all spheres, great distress or difficulty changing focus or action. So that's level 3. I think this is the severest of the levels. Okay. Level 2, requiring substantial support. Marked deficits in verbal and nonverbal social communication skills. Social impairments apparent even with supports in place. Limited initiation of social interactions and reduced or abnormal responses to social overtures from others. For example, a person who speaks simple sentences, whose interaction is limited to narrow special interest, and who has markedly odd nonverbal communication. So nonverbal is more about your body language, how your eye gaze behavior, stuff like that. And flexibility of behavior, difficulty coping with change or other restricted or repetitive behaviors appear frequently enough to be obvious to the casual observer and interfere with the functioning in a variety of contexts. Distress and or difficulty changing focus or action. Okay, so that's level 2. That's a bit less severe than level 3, obviously. So level 1, since there's only 3 levels, I guess this is the one that still requires support but not too much. So without supports in place, deficits in social communication cause noticeable impairments, difficulty initiating social interactions, and clear examples of atypical or unsuccessful responses to social overtures of others. May appear to have decreased interest in social interaction. For example, a person who is able to speak in full sentences and engages in communication but whose to and fro conversation with others fail, and whose attempts to make friends are odd and typically unsuccessful. Okay. No, I was just thinking of myself. Okay. Inflexibility of behavior causes significant interference with functioning in one or more contexts. Difficulty switching between activities, problems of organization and planning hamper independence. So, that's about it, you guys. That's about it. I feel like that's all I have for this stream. I have to read more about the finding summary for the Mack Rock Inattentional Blindness stuff. But overall, I feel like that's it. I feel like this is a good stream. Like we've done a lot or something. We've like it goes smoothly, right? I hope it does. Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope it does. I'm sorry, I keep saying stuff a lot. I don't know why. Anyways, yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna come back tomorrow. Probably, if I do, it'll probably be later than now, because there's a how to get into the academic world talk at 3 p.m. UK time tomorrow, and I signed up to go for it, and just because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll stream on Saturday because I still have to write a lot. I still have to read a lot. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I don't know how I would study for stats on stream. I don't think I can. Because I have to make notes and everything. Maybe I'll make notes and then I'll stream and read it to you guys, just to like tell someone what I've learned. Yeah. So, I'll probably allow myself one gaming session. I'll allow myself one gaming session because because I think I'll go crazy if I don't do any gaming, or yeah. Okay, so it was nice hanging out with with no one in particular. um yeah, okay. I'm very happy that this stream is works fine. I think it worked fine. I don't see any skipped frames at all, so that's great. That's awesome. And that's it. I guess I'll see you guys whenever I decide to stream again. Oh, if I do stream games, I do want to try if this setting works for games as well. I will come back to you with a game. I don't know what game yet. Let's see what I have. I guess I can do like Age of Mythology or something. Oh, but then I have to check if I actually have space. Yeah, we'll see what I'll play. So yeah, I'll be on Twitch now, and I'll upload my streams on YouTube because I don't know, I feel like Twitch is easier to maintain, and there's only like one. I just need only one stream key, so yeah. Okay, that's it. That's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.